Hello, beautiful friends. It's Jessica Joy. I hope you are doing amazing today. Sending you tons of love. Super excited to be here to support you with ending emotional and binge eating this week. So, if you don't already know me, I am a personal trainer, a pre and postnatal fitness specialist, and I'm also an emotional and binge eating coach. And I help moms do three things: I help them flatten their tummies, end emotional eating, and release weight for good. And so I've been doing this live series, and I'm right in the middle of it, where every week I train on that topic. So last week was all about how to flatten your tummy. This week is all about how to make peace with food, create a peaceful relationship with food so your energy is freed up to create a life that you love instead of stressing about food, what you ate, what you didn't eat, handling emotions with food instead of learning how to navigate them in a self-honoring way that is a real solution instead of a temporary fix. And then next week, I'll be talking about releasing weight for good. So if you are here, say hi. If you're on the replay, say hi. I love connecting with you. I feel more connected when you communicate with me. So I'd really appreciate you saying hello. So today we're talking about how to shift your emotions fast without turning to food, because the main crux of it is that we get this emotion in our body, we feel triggered, we want to avoid it, we don't know what to do with it, we want to numb it, we want to distract ourselves, we want to soothe ourselves, and there's food. Food is an answer. It's an option, but it's not a long-term solution, okay? So I want you to know, if you have a problem with this, whether it's big or small, please don't beat yourself up about it. Don't feel guilty about it. Don't feel shameful. What resources have you had to not emotionally eat? It's pretty accepted in our culture, and we're not taught emotional skills, okay, in our culture. It's just, I mean, there's some personal development that's coming, and that's really supportive. Hello, Eleanor. Hello, Stephanie. But it's like we're just trying to soothe ourselves. We're just trying to feel better, and we're doing the best that we can with the information and the tools that we have now. Okay, so if you're struggling with this, please know that it doesn't mean that you're a failure or you're stuck in this challenge or that you have no willpower or whatever story you can create. No, you are just trying to handle your needs in the best way you know how with the information and tools you have at this point. Okay, so give yourself a ton of love. I certainly would never judge you. I have all love for you, and I've totally been there. All right, and what's important now is that I'm here to serve you and support you and guiding you with real solutions for this issue. Okay, so you can move forward. Okay, the past doesn't create the future unless you decide it does. You can create a new future. All right, and I'm supporting you here today. All righty, so a little bit. Hello, Chelsea. Good to see you. Thanks for the heart. All right, a little bit about my story. I've told my story before, so I'm going to keep it brief, but there's one part of it that I honestly have never shared on social media. I've told a few of my close family members, but here you are. You get to learn this part of the story, and I share it because, you know, if it helps one person who did a similar thing, then it's worth it, you know? I'm here to serve. So basically, long story short, after I had Aijalin, I always liked health and fitness, but I really got into it after I had her, which is almost 7 years ago now. And I became, an instructor. I started coaching on it. I started blogging on it. I started teaching classes, like all the shebang. And I created this belief that in order to succeed at the level I wanted, I had to be very lean. Okay, so I started controlling my food. And the root of that belief is something we can all relate to, and it's, I'm not enough now. The way I am is not enough now. I'm not skinny enough, not smart enough, I'm not clever enough. Whatever you tell yourself, I'm not enough, I'm not thin enough, blah, 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 blah. It's all a big fat lie. And the sooner that you can understand that you are enough now, and whatever you move forward with is just like a cherry on top, the happier person you're gonna be. But I didn't know that at the time. I sure didn't. And so this belief was driving everything, and I didn't even know. I was like, I have to be lean if I'm gonna succeed. I'm not enough. I'm not skinny enough to succeed here. And so I started controlling my food a lot, a lot. And long story short, there would be times you want treats, right? But you're like, no, that's not on my diet. And I'd be like, well, what started it all was I don't know what it was, the food, but I chewed it up and then I would spit it out into like a cup and then I'd throw it away. So it's like, oh, I could get the taste. It's so sad. Like, this is the part I've never shared. I've talked about my binge eating issues, but it was like almost this weird hybrid of bulimia issue, because I was so concerned about being lean to succeed, And so I just started using that more and more, where it's like, okay, like, oh, we're going out to pizza. Like, oh, I can like chew it up and spit it out. Terrible. So it became more of a pattern. I could talk myself into it really easy. It's like, oh, I want that. Well, I can kind of have it, with this little trick. There it is. Very vulnerable right now, okay? But the thing is, first of all, you don't spit it all back out. You end up eating quite a bit of it. So I would get sick, like really bad. And then over time, I obviously gained a lot of weight with this type of pattern, even with exercising a lot. And it would just keep popping up. I would get progress, lose some of the weight that I needed to lose to succeed, and be skinny enough. But then I would undermine all my progress with this type of habit. After time, I just stopped caring about spitting it out. I'm like, whatever, I'm just going to eat it. This is dumb, And so I would find myself in the cupboard or sneaking off to the store if I got emotionally triggered. Especially if like I had a mess up. You can maybe relate to a perfection mindset where it's like, oh, I've been doing so good on my nutrition, and then you like have this cookie and you're like, oh crap, I'll just have another cookie. I've already had two. Oh crap, like, oh, I'll just like eat whatever I want, whatever, and then start tomorrow. Just all that kind of stuff. And I remember waking up so many mornings and I would be like, it felt like I had become a different person at some point in the night and food had taken over. Like I was like this food zombie lady, and I woke up and I'm back to myself. I'm like, what was I thinking? Like literally, like I was like, I'm not aligned with eating that. I'm not aligned with doing that. And then I'd feel guilty. I would feel lethargic. I would feel, you just get inflammation when you eat a lot of unhealthy food. You can feel it in your face, your body. And it's like, what was I thinking? And it would be this yucky, like, oh my gosh, I have to start over again today while feeling yucky. And so it was really taxing. And so I started researching, okay, how can I get over this? Like, and so you know how it is. You're like Googling, YouTube, ebooks, all that sort of thing. Eleanor, I can relate so much. Thank you for sharing. Absolutely. Sending you tons of love, Eleanor. Yes. It's just like we're just trying to cope with things, we're trying to lose the weight and we're trying to like just be happy, and we're doing the best with what we have. All right. So happy you're here. So tried to piece together solutions. I'm like, oh, I'll follow this lady's videos. And I would like progress, but then I'd always go back to old stuff. I couldn't solve it. And then I ended up finding a coach that was different. And I was like, this makes sense to me. And I started using some of her stuff that was free. And I was like, whoa, when it would click, it just felt so easy, but it was hard to get it to click all the time. So I ended up, hiring her as a coach, and it really changed my life. Because it's important that you pick one coach and follow their whole thing instead of picking from different coaches or picking little pieces of this and this. That's not going to work. You need like a full thing. Most of the time, if you're struggling, it's like, I really encourage you to take a stand for yourself and like pick one that you feel aligned with. Like try out some of their stuff, feels good. Okay, I'm moving forward. I'm going to be all in this one thing type of thing. And so I was able to heal my relationship with food. And I don't want you to get the idea that it's like, oh, I did this program and yay, like 6 weeks later, my food issues are gone. No, what it is learning the tools and having a commitment to yourself that even if you have a pitfall, like you see it as a learning experience and you apply, you're like, okay, what did I miss? Like, what could I have done differently? How can I apply that for the next time? And it's just this refining process of you learning how to implement those tools in the moment. Because it's easy to be like, okay, when I'm emotionally triggered, I'm going to do this. But then when the moment happens, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do that. I just want to eat right now. Okay, so it's a process of learning how to incorporate this so that you replace the emotional eating with actually handling the emotions. Okay, instead of pushing them down with food, ignoring them with food, distracting yourself, soothing yourself, whatever it is that food is supporting you with, you learn the tools how to handle that actual thing instead of, avoiding it. Alrighty, so that's the story. Thank you for listening. Megan, thanks for doing this. Love you. Oh, Megan, I love you so much. You even don't even know. How was the Pink concert? I bet it was amazing. Alrighty, so today I want to give you a huge tool. This is amazing for your whole life. But it's like works awesome for emotional eating. And so I'll be giving you tools all this week and I want you to be using them. So please be taking notes. There's going to be 5 questions I'm going to give you. And I want you to write them down so that you can use them when you get emotionally triggered, okay? And that it doesn't even have to be a big trigger. It's like you can use this whenever something isn't feeling great. It's like, all right. So last thing I want to say in regards to emotional eating and binge eating, if you have a goal to release weight for good, this is a crucial part of it that gets to be solved for you. Otherwise, you're always going to be yo-yoing. You're going to be struggling with gaining weight and losing it because the overeating of emotional eating and binging will undo all that progress. Plus, I say this in such a loving way, it is damaging to your soul on a soul level. Okay, there is so much freedom that's open for you and you will be amazed. It's like we think, oh, it's just emotional eating. It's totally normal. Like you see it in every chick flick when the girl gets dumped and she's like, oh, all my chocolates. It's just like culturally accepted because it's just food. But it's really being used in such the wrong way and it's not like you are a beautiful soul. Okay, you get to like just have such a beautiful safe feeling within your body in regards to food. All right, so let's talk about the tool today, how to shift how you're feeling fast, okay? So first we have a feeling. I know this is like gonna be backwards potentially, maybe not. Oh, maybe not, that would be exciting. So we're talking about our feelings, all right? Let me make sure we're in the right thing. Why did it get all yellowy? Ew. Talking about our feelings. It was amazing, the concert. Oh, good, Megan. Yeah. We're talking about our feelings. So here's the deal. Your beliefs create your thoughts create your feelings create your actions create your results. This is pure gold. And what we're going to be focusing on today is shifting the thoughts that are creating the feelings that are leading you to the action of emotionally eating, okay? We'll go into different pieces of this later in the week, like going deeper into the beliefs that are creating the thoughts. But today we're starting here. I'm going to give you 5 questions you can ask yourself that are going to change how you're thinking so you create a different feeling and then you aren't driven to emotionally eat. Pretty cool, huh? Like this is so empowering to have this. Like this can, if you like really implement this in your life, it's crazy awesome, all right? So let's go into an example of this. Let's say you're stressed. First, I posted a thing on Facebook about like, what are your top 3 triggers, situations, emotions on Sunday, like to emotionally eat. And I thank everybody who commented. Like I felt connected to you and I was like, man, like we can really move forward with this. It gave me a better understanding of where you are. So I'm just excited. All right. Hello, Taylor. Welcome, welcome. Oh, I remember your Facebook profile picture. It's gorgeous. I'm obsessed with that green color. It's like one of my favorites. All righty. So let's start with these questions. You're going to ask yourself, type this in the box for people who come back to revisit and to solidify it for you. What am I feeling right now? And the answer gets to be one word. Okay, you just want to narrow it down. We can feel a lot of emotions at once. What's the primary thing? Okay, and we're going to talk about stress. Okay, so what am I feeling right now? Just observing that. Oh, I am stressed. Or you say, I am overwhelmed. Cool. So now the question is, question number 2, what thoughts am I thinking that are creating this feeling? Okay, so for me, some of the common ones that come up are like, oh, I didn't get all this done. I dropped that ball. Oh my gosh, I let that person down. I didn't get back to them. Oh my gosh, the kids are like arguing again. Like, and here, I'm going to tell you the crazy stuff. And I don't even judge myself. I will tell you why. I think things will pop up like, oh, it's so hard being a mom. I'm not even meant to be a mom. Like, I retire. Oh my gosh. And then I tell it, like, you can be like, oh, I messed up. Like, oh, I told myself I was going to do that. I'm going to do it. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Obviously, these are crazy dramatic thoughts, but our brain goes there. Okay. Our brain produces automatic negative thoughts. Okay. This is a psychological term. It's science-backed. Our brain creates their automatic negative thoughts. So here's the cool thing. Because we know that, we can be totally detached from these thoughts that come up in our head that are bonkers, that are like, we know it's not true. We know it's silly, but it's just our brain trying to keep us doing the same things that we've always done that have kept us surviving so far. You know, our brain is wired for survival, okay? And in this modern day, like, we want to be upgrading from survival to like thriving, okay? So be detached from your thoughts. I will catch those thoughts and I'm detached. I'm observing them. It's like, oh, interesting. The thoughts I'm thinking are. Here's the thing. You do not have to, once you identify them, you don't have to believe them. You can completely change them. And that's what I'm teaching you to do today. You get to change them to something that makes you feel good, something that supports what you want to create in your life. And it's hyper important that you actually believe it. So for example, let's say I catch myself, I'm like, oh, I'm freaking out, I'm stressed, oh my gosh, I retire, you know? And I tell myself, okay, I'm the calmest person in the world. Like, there's no way you're gonna believe that thing. I mean, it's like, yeah, that's a positive thought, but if you don't believe it, it doesn't have any power for you. Taylor, thank you so much. Yes, absolutely. All right. So you want it to be something you believe. So label the feeling, I am experiencing stress. What are the thoughts I'm thinking? Okay, cool. I got some of the thoughts out. I'm observing them. I'm telling myself I didn't get this done. Things are piling up. And then you can ask yourself, are they true? This is like part 2 of the question. Are they true, or am I creating meaning? All right. Lots of times we're just creating meaning. None of it's actually true. It's like, is this supporting me? Me saying, oh, I'm not meant to be a mom. When I look at that, I'm like, that's a total lie. Like, I was created to be a mom to these children, you know, and I can feel the difference in my body when I shift the thought. Okay, so it's like, you get to be observing of these thoughts. Are they supporting me? Are they true? And if not, you change them to something that are supporting you, that are true. All right. So doing this process, you could be talking to yourself, you could be journaling. Lots of times we're out and about, so journaling doesn't happen. You could voice memo to yourself. You could just any way that you can just be asking, okay, what am I thinking right now? Is that supporting me? Is that true? And if not, how can I change it so it is? Okay. So it's like, okay, things I can think. All right. So I recognize that I'm experiencing some stress. I'm definitely meant to be a mom. I don't want to retire. And I can Like, I have the power to calm down. Okay, there's a supportive thought. All right. And that feels good. Okay, I have the power to calm down, and I'm going to move forward with this. So the next question is, how do I want to feel? How do I want to feel? If you're feeling stressed, instead of staying stuck in the stressed cyclone, how do I want to feel? Okay, I want to feel calm. And again, short. I want to feel calm. I want to feel grounded, collected. Okay. This is so rad. I love this thing. So then you ask the next question, what thoughts would I need to think to create that feeling? Okay. So I want to feel calm and collected. What thoughts do I need to think to create that feeling? That's going to lead you to what thoughts to come to replace the like automatic negative ones with. Okay. The thoughts are, I just need to organize some things that I need to get done today. And if I thought about, and also solutions will come up. It's like, oh, if I talk to this person about extending the deadline, that would work. Like asking support from somebody to help me with a few projects, that would be supportive. Thoughts I need to think to create that feeling. It's like, I choose to show up calm even when there's chaos. I choose to be okay with a little bit of chaos. I think that's super supportive as a mom. It's like, it's okay that there's a little bit of chaos right now. Instead of thinking everything has to be perfect all the time, and if it's not, you're like failing, okay? Just a little chaos. All right, cool. Let's manage this situation. And then asking yourself, lastly, what do I need to do right now? Okay, so let's, like, what would the options have been? It's like, okay, you get stressed, you're triggered, you're like, give me the crunchy things, right? All right, so then you go eat, you're avoiding, you're like, but as you can see, like, think about the consequence in an hour. You're gonna feel guilty. The solution, there wasn't a solution. It was just like this temporary fix that's tiding you over. You're still potentially still feeling stressed, or even more so, because now you feel bad about what you just ate. Okay, so it's not a solution, it's just a temporary fix. So you want to get to what's sourcing the feeling. Okay, I'm focusing so much on how I'm stressed instead of the solution to the stress. All right, what thoughts do I need? How do I want to feel? I want to feel calm and collected. Okay, what thoughts do I need to think to feel calm and collected? Okay, and that's going to guide you to solutions that you either need to do or ways that you need to change your thinking. Okay, lots of times I used to do meditations when I would get, stressed or sad, and they would always help me feel better. But what was going on was that I was shifting my thoughts. That's what the meditation did for me. And it's a great tool. Sometimes you just don't have time to meditate, okay? But even like some deep breathing is supportive, all right? But that's really what it did. It shifted the thoughts, which shifted the feelings, okay? Your feelings are always driven by your thoughts. It's what you're focusing on. And these are popping up from the beliefs that we'll get to, all right? So we'll talk about some empowering beliefs later this week. But I want you to apply that. I can even put it in the comments here. But when you can be asking yourself, anytime that you get a feeling that you're not enjoying, it's like, what am I thinking that's creating this feeling? It's like, oh, and you will, and like I said, if you catch a negative thought, you're human. I'm a human. You get to not judge yourself for it. Isn't that liberating? It's like, oh, I thought this crazy thought. You're like, haha, isn't that interesting? Okay, that's not supporting me. I choose to think this. And you will feel the change in your body. It's so fast. It's amazing. Okay, so I'm really excited for you to do this. I'll put the questions in here as well. And I'm sending you tons of love. And looking forward to coaching you tomorrow. Tomorrow we're talking about reconnecting to your body and your intuition. so that you can develop your self-trust. Because lots of times we say, oh, I'm going to eat that thing. I'm going to eat healthy today. And then we don't. And then we don't trust ourselves. And then we're scared to be around certain foods. So we avoid certain situations. And then we don't trust ourselves. So we don't even think we can avoid certain foods. So then we overeat them and blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to teach you how to connect to your body, your intuition, with this one focus. It's like almost like a mantra. It's so short. Okay. So I'm excited to see you tomorrow. So grateful you are here. Much love. And please reach out if you have any questions, or if you have something like private that you want to talk about, feel free to send me a message. Just direct message me. I love talking, connecting with you and supporting you in more specific circumstances. And also know that my program's coming out April 29th is the launch date. It's a 6-week program that covers all the things that I do. So it will help you flatten your tummy and emotional eating and release weight for good. Though with emotional eating, if you simply want to focus on that, there will be plenty of material for you to make amazing breakthroughs. Okay, so that you can finally be free, feel free with food, feel peace with food, and not spend so much energy mentally or physically on it anymore. All right, so I will put that link as well. All right, much love. See you tomorrow.